guys, and welcome back for another sewing tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a plain seam. So if you've already sewn before, then you already know how to do one. But if you've never sewn before, this is definitely one of the first videos you should be watching. So if you're interested in learning how to do a plain seam, then definitely stick around. Okay, so I'm just going to be using some test fabric to show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm using this dark green. I have white thread in my machine just so that you can see my stitches. And I have my stitch length set at 2.5. And if you have figured out your sewing machine, you know you've turned it on, you've got your thread and your bobbin in your machine. Every machine is different, so I can't really do a tutorial on how to do all those things. I can do one on my machine, but like I said, there are so many different types of machines out there, so the best place for me to start for my YouTube videos is to teach you how to actually do some stitches and different types of seams to get you started on doing your projects. So the first thing you're going to do is, of course, figure out where you're going to put your needle. I usually like to stick my needle right into the center of my presser foot. So this is the presser foot, and my machine, the needle starts all the way over here. Some machines you just set where your needle is going to be and then it just stays there all the time. But this one, it kind of resets every time. So I'm going to put it right in the middle, and then you will have a little ruler here and you can set your seam allowance. So normally I like to work with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance or maybe even a 1/2 inch seam allowance, but that's usually where I go unless I'm going to be doing like encasing and stuff like that for like elastic and things. So I'm just going to work with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and because my needle is in the middle of my presser foot, a 1/4 of an inch would be to the edge of my presser foot. So I just like to line up my fabric right with the edge here, and then I just stay there, and then that's good for me. When I was a kid, I used to go with one of the lines, but that's when I first started learning. I think my mom liked to work with 1/2 inch seam allowances, but I just think it's a little bit of a waste of fabric, so I will go with a 1/4 of an inch. So when you first start sewing, of course you're going to put down your presser foot, because most machines won't actually start working until it's down, but it's going to hold your fabric in place, and then it will secure between the presser foot and the feed dogs, and the feed dogs are the little things underneath that will push your fabric along. So you will start sewing, and then once you've done about 4 or 5 stitches, then you're going to lock your stitches in. This is in most cases what you will do. Sometimes it's not necessary, but for 99% of your projects you're going to probably want to do this. So I'm going to press my back button. Some machines have it over on the side, mine has it right above, and I'm just going to go back a couple stitches and then I'm going to continue forward. So just making sure that your fabric stays lined up with where your seam allowance measurement is, and then go to where you need to go. My tail got stuck under my presser foot, so it just curled up, but normally it shouldn't do that. So I go to the very end, and when I'm about a 1/4 of an inch away from the end, I'm going to stop and I'm going to reverse, and then I'll keep going, and then I will bring my needle up, and then I will cut the threads on the side of the machine. So this is how a normal seam should look. So as you can see, you can tell that I did a back stitch here. I'm going to show you what would happen if you didn't do this back stitch. So if you just put it right in the machine and didn't back stitch at all and just went right through, and then if you went to open up your project, it would immediately start to come apart like that. So because we locked our stitches, it's going to stay nice and tight and it won't come undone. So that is the first seam or stitch that you will want to learn, and this, like I said, will be for the majority of your projects that you're doing with a regular sewing machine. So I hope this helped, and I hope you go and you make as much as you possibly can. If you do, I would love to see what you make. As a beginner, definitely connect with me on my social media, my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All those links will be in the description box below, as well as more information and photos over at my blog, which is charmedbyashley.com. So thanks so much for watching, and check for the next videos where I will be showing you some more not necessarily advanced stitches and seams, but you know, intermediate, the next level. Okay, so thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.